Hello? Hello? Pablo, are you making TikToks?
No, no.
Oh my god, we need to talk.
Hey everyone, Pablo here, and that intro was just, I've been lost a bit in TikTok. I'm back to YouTube, yay! It's stupid. Are you okay? I'm so dumb. So, if you follow me on Twitter, you already know that this plastic surgery rotation has been mental, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, what are you doing? Go and follow me on Twitter. For sake. Unbelievable. One of those days. It's just one of those days. I won't get too much into it because I'll do a separate video on like an update and explaining everything that has been going on and stuff that will happen. But I'm back. I'm back for now. Who knows if it'll last. I can't possibly say. It's been a long minute since I've done a book review, but today I come with a big one. And rarely, it's obviously The Hero of Ages by Brando Sanderson I. And rarely do I feel this sense of accomplishment. Like, it's actually, if you think about it, it's the first Sanderson series that I finish. And as a Sanderson maniac, it was a wrong that needed righting in my life, and it was very embarrassing. Like I can't believe I am coming clean, guys. It has been haunting me this past couple of, years. Just preaching about Sanderson and not having finished a series. It feels so good to say, but it's been hard. Sandiak. Is that the name of Sanderson maniacs? Sandiak. You heard it here first, folks. We're Sandiacs. If you are a booktuber yourself, you know this like sense of propelling that the community has. Like you don't want to focus on one series, you want to keep expanding horizons, and that, well, it's good that you read new books, but the thing is, you don't finish what you started. So I'm glad that I've actually managed to finish a whole thing. Obviously, a little bit of warning. If you haven't read The Final Empire and The Well of Ascension, go do that real quick. I have not shied away from saying that the weakest part of The Final Empire was characterization, and it was it's very clear to me. And now I will not shy away from saying that you can see a lot of improvement from the first book to this one. For me, it was the most glaring flaw was the relationship between Vin and Ellen. It was lukewarm. Well, it was very bland. It was just like, it didn't fit. But I think that, again, without getting into spoilers, I think that there is a change in mindset in these two characters that make their relationship dynamic much better in this book, and not so much believable because it's like people drink metals and throw buildings. But it makes more sense. I would also like to talk about the amount of time that we spend with Spook. And Spook was a bit of a meme in the first two books. It wasn't really a POV character. It wasn't an important character. It was just there to sort of as a comedic relief almost. And I'm glad to see more. I was, oh, okay, interesting. So we get to see more of Spook in this book.
Bars.
I like seeing growth in a character, and the way that Spook went from someone that couldn't even speak, that couldn't even be understood by other characters, to a very prominent POV, to doing his own thing, to discovering something to build for himself, not just following. I don't want to get into spoilers, but I think if you've read this book, I know what you know what I'm talking about. I really like that. However, even though there has been a lot of improvement with characterization, I still think that is Sanderson's weakest link. And in this book, there is one particular criticism that I wanted to get into, and it's the fact that at times, it felt like I was not reading an epic fantasy, I was reading a treatise on morals and ethics. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoy characters delving deep into their ethos and their philosophical aspirations, that's fine, but the thing is, it was a lot. And at points I was thinking, am I reading Sanderson or am I reading Nietzsche? Like, what is happening here? What I'm very obnoxiously trying to say is that Sanderson beats the point to a pulp sometimes, and I think it happened in Rhythm of War as well. And it's sort of, yeah, we get it. I remember writing, yep, Vin, I know you are very damaged. I know you had a really tough childhood and you didn't trust anyone. We get it. Now, please, bloody do something. The other character that perhaps was a bit annoying was Zazed, you know, him. It feels less of a chore to read his aspirations when you come to the end, and I do get why he was focusing on that, but again, I feel like it dragged a bit. It towards the, if you divide the book in 4 parts, towards the third, fourth of the book, it was dragging a bit, and there is a fine line to walk, being able to build suspense meaningfully, and for it to become sour and just repetitive, and then it might take away some of the power of the Sanderlange that you were expecting. In this book, it was okay, but it was reaching a point where it almost took away part of the epicness of the end. But it didn't. I didn't. The ending was incredible. More on that later. As for plot, now another warning, spoilers. But in this third book, the Lord Ruler is obviously still dead. Kelsier resorts to martyrdom and is still dead. And apparently now he's moved to Fortnite and has set up shop there. I don't know what's going on. The rebellious factions have been sort of eliminated by Emperor Elend, which interesting. And we get to see a lot of change in Elend. And now there is a much bigger threat because Ruin, a god, a literal god, is striving to end the world. So now our characters, our protagonists, have to fight a literal god to save the world. How much more epic can you get? This is the stuff. This is what I pick when I picture epic fantasy. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Obviously, things have changed from the beginning to the end. You cannot replicate the super tight, amazing plot of the first book, and I will carry on saying it is one of the best paced and structured books I've read in a long time. But obviously, you cannot repeat the same formula over and over again. In this book, the plot is still solid, very solid, and I'm not going to get into the whole outlining thing. I'll talk about it more later, but it's got to do with outlining. Everything that is there, yes, there is rambling, but that rambling is character work. The plot is still immaculate, and the only way that you can really do that is by outlining. With Sanderson, I know that I can rely that everything that I'm reading is there for a reason. Like there will be a reason in the plot. So sometimes at points I was sort of wondering, why am I reading this? What's the correlation with the rest? But suspension of disbelief, I suspended that and I said, okay, let's carry on. And it paid off. Oh, it paid off so well. Everything is connected. Amazing plot. Before I carry on, I have to say, I have not cried reading a book in a long time, and the ending of this book made me tear up. It was so fulfilling. It was so perfect. And a big fear of anyone that writes, I think, is how do I finish this? How do I come to a resolute ending And I think that very big authors all struggle with this. Like the one example that comes to mind, sorry Maza, is Stephen King. Granted, I have not read King extensively, but I have a feeling that he doesn't know how to end a book. Like, character exploration's amazing, you are in the psyche of people, you are weirded out by how accurate he ended, like how accurately he depicts human mind, but the endings sort of like fade away. It's like, you know what it is? It's like those songs in the 90s and the early 2000s that the singer didn't know how to end the song, so it was just the chorus over and over again and sort of volume down and down until it faded. And it's like, and suddenly it's like, oh, okay, so that was the ending. What I'm trying to say is this one is not it. There is a very epic ending. Things come to an end and everything is wrapped up, but not blatantly, oh yeah, they lived happily ever after. It's a really good ending. The world building. Sanderson's best quality. And I have to say that this is why I love Sanderson, is because he manages to bring two options to the plate. Like if you haven't read any other books in the Cosmere, you can still enjoy this third installment, very much so. But if you have read the Cosmere, if you have read like the Stormlight Archive and other books in the Cosmere, you start to see connections, and you start to, there's like an expansion of the whole overarching universe that Sanderson is building masterfully, and it's just, so good, so good. He really leaned hard into his zeroth law of erring on the side of awesome, because it was dopamine and serotonin all over the place. It was so cool. It really, it's like a raw, oh, this is so cool. That's my sensation when I'm reading the book. I could spend the whole day raving about Sanderson world building abilities and the Cosmere in general and the magic systems. Like hemalurgy, I was like, hemalurgy, like whoa, like, and it's been there all along, and it all ties up. There's two things I want to talk to about anyway. One, and this won't make sense if you haven't read the book, is certain numerical value that they use in the book, and it has a connection with the rest of the Cosmere, and I was blown away. I got literal chills when I read that. I was like, Sanderson, you mad genius. Also, I feel like I spent half of the book like that meme of DiCaprio, like, I know you. Oh, yep. Oh. So it was like, it's that dopamine boost that you get when there are connections in your books. It's amazing. The second point that I wanted to bring is that although the book obviously is very dissimilar to our reality, it is grounded in our history, and I really enjoyed how believable it was. And I'm talking particularly of the rebellion in, what was the name of the city? It's Urte. However you pronounce this. In that city, there's this leader, I can't remember his name. What was it? Yomin? I can't remember the name of the leader that, was it with a Q? Quinn? The leader of the city that came to power after the rebellion of the Ska population. It's basically like, I think Sanderson went and read the French Revolution and did like copy paste, because it is exactly what happens. If you haven't read the history of like what happened in France in 1789, go and read about it. It's so interesting. Basically, there is a revolt, and after this revolt, the populace comes into power, and there's this figure, Robespierre, and Robespierre becomes mad with power. He starts killing people. It begins the reign. He started the reign of terror. Read about it. It's fascinating, but it's basically what happened in Urto. And even the name has like French vibes. I don't know if this is intentional. I feel like it is intentional. Everything is intentional with Sanderson. So for packaging, Sanderson maintains his really direct prose. There's no faff, no excessive lyricism, and I want to reiterate, this is not a criticism. This is just a style. It's a stylistic choice, because he wants to. It's all about that transparent membrane for him. So you shouldn't go into a Sanderson book expecting to find mega complex prose. Prose is not a focus, so you shouldn't criticize it on it. That's my stance. Post-reading sensation, sad. It was sad. Yes, it was a really good ending, but it was sad. After the initial shock of what happened, actually sit back and you think, this ending is quite cathartic. It's quite, yeah, it's a good ending. Things come to, I'm repeating myself, but yeah, what the eloquence. It transmitted a sensation of fulfillment. And I think it's a good ending to a good trilogy that started off a powerhouse of the fantasy community at the moment. And I am excited to read the second era. That is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully I am back more regularly now that I've finished my plastic surgery rotation. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hey everyone, Pablo here, and yes, that intro was to what am I doing? I won't get to it.